Alright, getting ready to load up some flint here in my kiln. I picked this thing up used. It was a ceramic kiln. It had 2 rings with it. Great big guy. Got it for 75 bucks. That one's got a bad element in it, so I'm just using 1 ring. I don't think I could manage stacking enough to fill up 2 rings anyway. When I first set it up, I rewired it for 110 with an oven controller. That really ain't the way to go. It tended to drift high on the temperature if you leave it set for a while and get out of hand. I blew up some rock with it. I don't like doing that, so went on eBay and I got myself one of these watt-low PID temperature controllers. Wired in a Type K thermocouple to it. Firing my kiln off of a solid state relay here. I got a big old heat sink with computer fan on the back to keep everything cool. There's my thermocouple, if you can see that right there sticking in. I'm going to load her up with some flint. Okay, got the kiln pretty well loaded. Got some absolutely beautiful stone in there, some stuff that's got some purples in it, different swirlies and such. Now this is creek rock, so I'm going to dry it for a good long while. Now when I load the kiln, I want to make sure I get a pretty full load. If I don't, it doesn't seem to really heat evenly or maintain the heat like I want it to. So I've got about 2.5 buckets of rock in here. It's probably over 200 pounds of spalls and preforms in here. Now one thing I like to do, if you can see down in here, I got some flakes, some bigger flakes around the edge. I tend to put those around there on purpose just to kind of shield my my rock from the heating elements, and also to protect my heating elements in case I have an avalanche inside the kiln. Keeps it from tearing up my bricks so bad. I probably need to build some kind of a basket in here, but haven't done that. If you see here, I got some damage, but it still works. Now, like I said, this is creek rock, so I'm probably going to bring it up to about 120 or so and let that eat for, I don't know, 6-8 hours before I start ramping it up to 200 for its final dry. And then, I don't know how long I'll dry it yet. I got to think about it. Anyhow, I'll go that far. Alright. Okay, here's my temperature controller. Got her set to go up to 65. Right now it's 59. You see that red light coming on and off. That means when the red light's on, it's heating. When it's off, it's not heating. Now, PID controller, it kind of keeps track of both where it's going and where it's been, and it makes smart decisions on when to kick on and off to get to your set point as fast as possible without overshooting too much. That's the cool thing about these PID controllers. Really do a good job for heating stone and heating it just like you want it without blowing up your rock. I wish I had an automatic one that would do ramp and soak for me, but I'm too much of a tightwad to buy one, so right now I'm doing the manual set controller, so I'm going to be out here changing the set point quite a bit over the weekend. It's Good Friday tomorrow, so I got the day off, and it's supposed to rain all day, so I ain't going to be doing anything anyhow, so I guess I'll just tend this kiln. Alrighty. Alright, well, it's Good Friday now, about 6 p.m. On my way to ramping. It's up to 354 right now, on its way to 368. I'm doing 50 degrees an hour, coming out here about every 15 minutes. I got sick of walking back and forth, so I just thought I'd sit out here and see if I could make something. Oh, sitting here, I knocked out this little Folsom. Not too bad. A pretty good fluid on both sides. I think that's Crescent, St. Louis. Anyhow, check back later. Okay, out here in the garage, Still ramping. We're up to 465 right now. One thing I might point out, about 450, 460, that's when any of the mud or organic stuff that's inside that kiln starts breaking down and catching fire and such, and you can smell it at about 450, 460 in there. So I know that my temperature thing's about right then. Thermometer. Also, something else, if you ever hear any clinking going on inside your kiln that might sound kind of like this pile of flakes right here, it might sound something like that chinky kind of sound. You hear that inside your kiln, that means you're either getting too hot too fast, or you're cooling off too fast, or the water's coming out too fast, or something's not right. You might want to start cutting back your temperature to try to save your rock. That sound you're hearing, that chinky sound, that's the sound of rock being destroyed. So, anyhow, probably going to go up to about, I'm going to say 570 to 600 degrees before I start letting this soak. Okay, 600 degrees. Been sitting there since about 2 in the morning, and it's 11 a.m. now, so it's been there about 9 hours. I'll probably let her go for 600 maybe till late tonight or early tomorrow. Okay, I've had this thing soaking at 600 degrees for about 16 hours now. I think I'm going to start ramping it down. Now, one thing about my setup, this kiln will shuck the heat a whole lot faster than it picks it up. Because of that, I like to let this thing down easy and control it down instead of just shutting it off like some guys do. So you may notice it's at 596 now. It's been holding rock solid at 600 degrees with this controller. If you're using an oven switch like I used to, and you notice your temperature getting away from you, climbing out of hand, you walk away and you come back and it's like 50, 60 degrees higher than what you expected it to be, get rid of it. Get something like this here. You'll be glad you did. Okay, I'm out here. What I'm doing is about every 30 minutes, I'm backing her off 20 degrees so that it doesn't cool off too fast. A lot of guys just shut their kiln off when they're ready to cool down, but this thing will shed the heat so fast that it'll blow up my rock. So what I'll do is I'll drop it 20 degrees every 30 minutes until about 300 degrees it gets to where it doesn't shed the heat so fast, and then I can actually shut it off. But anyways, about every 30 minutes I'm going to come drop her about 20 degrees and let it settle down that way. Okay, I'm about done here. It's down to 355, but I just got it set at 340. What I'm doing is I'm letting it down easy. I'm trying to go down 40 degrees an hour. So what I've been doing is coming out here, setting my controller 20 degrees down every half hour. Until this point, about 350 here, I was not outrunning the controller, meaning that it was shedding heat as fast as I would let it. So now that it's catching up, I guess I'm outrunning the heat shedding now. I'm going to go ahead and run my set point down way low and just let this thing pretty much cool on its own. So basically I'm going to remove the power, let her cool. Now it's going to take quite a while to get this thing down to a temperature where I'll feel comfortable opening it. So that's probably going to be later on tomorrow afternoon or evening or something like that. So it's going to take quite a while. So anyhow, I think that's it for now. Okay, down to 70 degrees. I've been letting this cool for right at a day and a half. Got a cracker open and look at it here. Okay, yep, we lit up some color there. If you recall, this one was just had a little bit of purple in it. Now it's got some nice streaks and stuff in it that it didn't have before. A lot of it's a lot more red than it was. So that's all good. If I can give you some advice here, make sure you don't heat too fast. Make sure you don't cool too fast. Get any Cortex off that you can before you heat your rock. And if you got any cracks, get those off of there too. Give yourself a long drying time. And as a matter of personal preference, don't heat it to death. You heat it too much and it just gets almost plasticky. Seems like you go to Napa, you buy rock from guys. A lot of times they just heat the dickens out of it, and it's so glassy that you're collapsing your platforms even with antler. And I have a hard time with that. So I cook my rock kind of lightly. Did about 600 degrees for 18, 20 hours, something along that line. But at any rate, if you got any questions, give me an email. I'll tell you what I know.